Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Good day everyone. You are welcome to the GSP 1201/2201 class, Use of English. I will be taking you through Module 5 on Spoken English. My name is Lk Maikaba. I hope we will have a nice and interactive session together with you. Thank you. In this module, we are going to look at vowels, consonants, syllables, minimal pairs, consonant contrast, clusters, stress, and intonation. Okay, we are going to look at the production of speech sounds. We will look at speech sounds, that's the classification as in vowels and consonants, and the rulings on how to write the sounds, and then we will look at what vowel sound is in isolation. So the branch of linguistics which studies speech sounds or production of speech sounds is called phonetics. When we study speech sounds, we can consider them from two angles. Acoustic phonetics, in addition to being part of linguistics, is also a branch of physics, and we can also look at it as in articulatory phonetics, which we are primarily concerned with in this particular aspect. It is concerned with how we use our bodies to produce speech sounds. Producing speech sounds needs three mechanisms. Number one is energy. To make a sound, we need source of energy for us as human beings, such as the flow of air from our lungs, which provides the energy in speaking. The second aspect is the air flowing from the lungs provides us with energy. For instance, when you put your hand on your vocal cord, where we call it the Adam's apple, on your throat, like this outer part of your throat, you feel a bony part there, which is on the throat. So it is not actually made of bone, but of cartilage and muscles. The opening of the larynx is covered by two triangular cartilages, which we call vocal folds, sometimes vocal cords. So it depends on the book you are studying. Some books write both, some write vocal folds and some write vocal cords. We can control our vocal folds to make sounds. For example, let's take an exercise. Put your hand by your neck where your Adam's apple is, on your throat, and then I would like you to produce these sounds. Oh, 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 oh. And now I want you to do it halfway. Oh, oh. When you do that, you have closed your vocal folds by bringing them together, and this act stops the air from flowing through your vocal tract. So when you say oh, oh, you release the air through your vocal tract and then you hold it and then you release it again. But when you do it halfway, you totally fold or restrict air from flowing through your vocal cords. Now, I want you to open your mouth and produce another sound as in H sound. So as you are producing this sound, your vocal folds are open and air is passing freely here. That's through your glottis. So when we speak, we make some sounds with the vocal folds opening and some sounds with the vocal fold vibrating, such as producing sounds like s and z. There are two s and z. They are all consonant sounds, but s is a non-vibrating sound, while z is a vibrating sound. So, as I said in the beginning, that we have three central mechanisms involved in speech production. These three mechanisms are energy, which comes from the air supplied by the lungs, and the second one is the vocal folds producing sounds at the larynx, and then we have sound as is filtered or shaped by the articulators. So to sum up, or in summary, we have three mechanisms that we use to produce speech. They are respiration at the lungs, phonation at the larynx, and articulation from the mouth. So in the production of speech sound, we said we need sounds, and these sounds are what we call the vowel sounds and the consonant sounds in the study of phonetics. So anywhere you see two slashes in written form, you know that that particular alphabet that is put in between the slashes is no longer a letter. It is now being referred to as a sound. That is what we formerly used to differentiate a letter from a sound. So all vowel sounds are sounds produced with free movement of air. Free movement of air, the air that I earlier said comes from the lungs, it comes freely out of the mouth. So all the vowel sounds we have free movement of air, and all vowel sounds are vibrating. So when you put your hand by your vocal cords and you are producing all the vowel sounds, you will feel the vibration of your vocal cord. So all vowel sounds are vibrating, and then all vowel sounds are produced with free movement of air. According to the standard British English, we have 20 types of vowel sounds, and these 20 are being classified into short vowels, diphthongs, and long vowels. So to learn more about these sounds, please, you can click on the link here and have more knowledge on it. In phonetics, the short vowels are often used to refer to sounds that correspond to the letters, while the long vowels are those sounds that have the two dots in front of the sound and are longer than the short sounds in the production of speech sounds. This is a chart on short vowels, long vowels, and the diphthongs. Where the chart is labeled vowels, you see that we have the long vowels with the short vowels together. And then where the other side of the chart, by the right hand side, we have the diphthongs there, where the one sound glides into another sound, and each sound has an example below it. So you have them here for your own study. Diphthongs are referred to as glides because in producing the sounds, the tongue glides from one sound to the other, and often the first sound or the first unit is longer than the second unit. So diphthongs are 8 in standard British English, and here they are. In slide number 3, we said vowel sounds are sounds that are unobstructed, voiced, and oral. So consonant sounds are sounds that violate these three rules or definitions of the vowel sounds. They can be obstructed or unobstructed. They can be voiced or voiceless. They can be oral or nasal. For example, the example I gave earlier on sound and z sound. When you put your hand by your throat and make the sound, the sound is unobstructed and is voiceless. But when you produce the sound z, you feel the vibration there. So that sound is voiced z, and it is obstructed. So it is violating the definition of the vowel sound. And all consonant sounds can be either oral or nasal. So while all vowel sounds are oral sounds, none of them is nasal sound. So you can follow the link here and see the correct pronunciation of the consonant sounds. But for a free definition or a simple definition of consonant sound, it's defined as, or in a layman's term, we can define it as the sound that is being produced with free movement of air from the lungs. I think this is easier for you to understand. It will be easier for you. Here we have the list of the consonant sounds together with some examples. The first sound is pronounced P as in pet, top, B as in bat and tap, T as in trunk and what, D as in word and those, Ch as in catch and patch, J as in judge and badge, K as in kite and keep, K as in bag, game, F as in leaf, fish, V as in advise, vase, F as in think, teeth, V as in this, those, S as in sweet, save, Z as in zip, those, Sh as in cushion, shoes, J as in measure, beige, M as in palm, mat, N as in neat, win, N as in sing, wing, as in hip, hole, L as in wheel, long, R as in rest, touch, W as in wind, always, and J as in yoke and gender. So if you want to practice this, please try to put your hand by your throat. You'll be able to feel the sounds that have vibration and those that do not have vibration. For example, the theta sound which is close to V sound, that has the example think and teeth, with the next one that has these and those. The first theta sound is a voiceless sound, while the next sound is a voiced sound. As when you put your hand, you'll be able to feel the vibration. So try to master this by practicing it using your hands on your throat. Here is an exercise for you. Try to practice it using this J sound. You should be able to bring out words that have this sound, as in place, animal, food, color, and person. Here's another tricky exercise for you, where you have two similar sounds and you are expected to be able to pronounce each sound correctly. Read the first one. I'll read it for you. Red lorry, yellow lorry. She sells seashells by the seashore. Peter bought a pack of big paper bags. This theater, that theater, this theater, that theater. So now we are going to look at the third aspect of the outline we mentioned in the second slide. We said we will look at vowels, consonant, and syllables. So a syllable is a unit of sound which contains a vowel and one or more consonants. One or more syllables joined together form a word, and words are divided in accordance to the number of syllables they may have. There are words that are stressed and those that are not stressed. So unstressed, there are such words as articles, prepositions, and pronouns. So if you want to know the number of syllables in a particular word, the easiest way to do that is you can use your hand and beat on the table. For example, you want to know the number of syllables in the word education. We have education. How many? Making 4. So it's the easiest way to know the number of syllables we have in a word, and it helps in spelling, especially in young learners, young learners or adult second language learners also. We also have words that most words have stress, and each stress falls on a particular syllable. But there are certain words that do not contain stress. This exception falls only on articles, prepositions, and pronouns, but all other classes of noun or classes of words have stress on them. It is important for us to learn syllables because it makes us familiar with the syllable patterns and helps students to read longer words accurately and fluently. Also, when students are able to say one syllable at a time, spelling becomes much easier. And also, all words have syllables. We have starting from one syllable to above 5 syllables, as much as we can get. These are examples of words that have two syllables, or we call them two-syllabic words. We have index, mascot, tennis, napkin, public, goblin, picnic, combat, attic, until, public, nutmeg, album, misfit, limit, punish, relish. Here are also three-syllabic words. We have fantastic, athletic, establish, penmanship, investment, consistent, misconduct, basketball, inhabit, astonish, Atlantic, magnetic. Here we have 4-syllabic words. So I want you to use this same exercise and try to count the number of syllables as you read the words. Okay, despite tapping on the desk to count the number of syllables in a particular word, there are other ways we have in which we can assist us to know the number of syllables in a particular word. We also can do that by putting our hand under our chin as we say the word, which we can count the number of times our jaws drop. So this one is done by counting the number of dropping of the jaw. We can also do that by clapping our hands as we say each syllable. So there are many other ways also. These are just a few that I have mentioned here, but you can also look for more ways to be able to identify how many syllables a particular word has. Now we look at the second aspect of the outline. We are looking at the minimal pairs. Minimal pairs are words or phrases that differ in only one phonological element and have distinct meaning. So they have different meaning, not same meaning. Or a minimal pair is two words that vary only on a single sound. For example, we have fan and van. The only difference between these two words is the difference that the first one has f sound and the second one have v sound. That is the F and the V. Then we have sit and sit. The first one is a short E sound and the second one is a diphthong, which is the movement of one vowel sound into another vowel sound. Then we have desk and disc. Desk has E sound and the other one disc has E sound. They all have two different vowel sounds. So that goes all through the examples as I gave you. This is what we refer to as minimal pairs. Here are continuation of the examples. It is for you to practice and look at them carefully as you say and as you pronounce them, look at them and look at the spelling. So now we are going to look at consonant contrast. When words like pin and bin are pronounced, the hearer knows that the words mean different things because the consonants p and b contrast. For instance, due to the place of articulation for each is the same. They are both bilabials but differ in their manner of articulation. That is, p is voiceless while b is voiced. I told you earlier, if you want to understand whether a sound is voiced or voiceless, you can put your hand by your throat and then you'll be able to feel the vibration. When a sound vibrates, it's voiced. If it doesn't vibrate, it's voiceless. For example, p is a voiceless sound, but p is a voiced sound. So this is what we call consonant contrast. When you have two, it's not the same with minimal pairs. Here they have the same place of articulation, but they differ in their manner of articulation sometimes. So it depends on where they differ. It differ in the act of speech production, not in meaning or spelling. Here are more examples of the consonant contrast, and there is a link there for you to have more insight into what I have listed here. Consonant cluster is a group of consonants which have no intervening vowel. That is, there is no vowel in between the consonants. There are two consonants. They come together without the appearance of any vowel in between. In other words, when two consonants appear next to each other, it can be two or three or four consonant sounds. Example, we have the word black. B, L. There do not have any vowel sound in between them. So this is what we call consonant clusters, where we have two, three, or more consonants coming together without any vowel sound in between. So consonant clusters are important because they are in many English words. Mispronouncing a consonant cluster may lead to pronouncing another word. For example, leaving out the L in black may mean back, because black there is a cluster. Bl, bl is a consonant cluster. So when you mistakenly remove the L there, you are going to get a different word and you will pronounce it meaning something while you are saying something. So it's very important to master them and be able to know them. They are essential for pronouncing grammar markers such as past tense and plurals. I have 3 meetings. The students are waiting. Pronouncing consonant clusters is important for pronouncing English clearly. We'll look at stress also. Stress is placing pressure on a particular sound for emphasis. In English, it is the syllables that are stressed. As we said earlier, every word has a syllable, and it is one of the syllables that is stressed in each word, depending on how many syllables that particular word has. So in English, it is the syllables that are stressed. Words are stressed in accordance to the number of syllables they may have. Dictionaries show which syllables are stressed in a word. So stress is of two kinds. We have primary stress and we have the secondary stress. The primary stress comes at the beginning of a word, while the secondary stress comes towards the end of a word. So stress is indicated by a stroke before the syllable. It is a very tiny stroke like this that will be inserted in between the syllables at the top of the stressed syllable. You will be able to see more examples when you open the link there that I have attached for you to look at. Unstressed syllables. As we continue, words such as articles, prepositions, pronouns are usually not stressed. As I told you earlier, when we looked at syllables, I mentioned that we have articles in the classes of words, prepositions such as the, are, in, under, on, they all are not stressed. He, she, you don't stress them. Anywhere you see these words, they are unstressed. So we look at intonation. What is intonation here? Intonation is brought about by the levels of pitch in utterance. When a person speaks, the pitch of his or her voice changes, sometimes high and sometimes low. This is natural to avoid monotony. It is important to speak with the same tone all the time. Pitch and tone vary to cause variations in emphasis, implication, attitude of the speaker, and so on. All languages use pitch and tone differently. In Nigerian languages, variations in tone result to changes in the individual words. In English, it affects an entire stretch of words or an utterance. Intonation is indicated by a pattern of rises and falls in pitch. In English, this is what differentiates a mere statement and a question. Example, if I say you are coming and end with a fall in pitch on the last word, this is a statement, meaning you are coming. So if I say it with a rise in pitch on the same last word, that is a question. You are coming? It means I'm asking you whether you are coming or not. Intonation pattern has two major tunes with variations between them. They are the rising tune and the falling tune. The tune can be indicated by gliding arrows either pointing upwards for the rising tune or downwards for the falling tune. So we have arrows. Sometimes you see the arrows at the top of the statement or the question. Some arrows are pointing upwards, meaning rising tone. Some are pointing downwards, meaning falling tone. The falling tone. The falling tone is usually used in the following ways. It is used in making statements. For example, he left this morning. Let's go out for a walk. It is also used in commands. For example, run there, get him arrested. Or in WH questions, any question that starts with WH. What's your name? Where are you from? Where are you going? Why are you here? They are all examples. The rising tone is usually used in the following ways. In general questions, especially it is used in general questions. So Alhamdulillah, this brings us to the end of this module. I hope. Thank you for listening.